It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this absolutely invigorating, robust lifestyle show. First of all, I would like to thank each one of our listeners that have tuned in live and the ones that will be listening to the recording on the podcast. I am just so very grateful and thankful for each one of you listeners. And you are all in for a very special show today, as I have with me my returning monthly diva, Deb Matlock, and her and I are going to chat about gratitude. Oh, man, what a great topic to chat about any time of the year, and especially in November as Thanksgiving approaches here in the United States. So, Deb, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners today?
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. I am Deb Matlock, chiming in from Colorado, USA, and I have a small business called Wild Rhythms, where I focus on supporting people as they explore their deep and sacred connection to earth, animals, and the world of spirit. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation today with Joyce.
Oh, Deb, and those feelings are so mutual, because so am I. I've been thinking about it kind of this weekend already. I started thinking about it and was really thinking about it this morning, out taking care of my horses and the animals, and I'm like, oh, this is just going to be a great topic today on gratitude. I just love it. Well, when you think of gratitude, I'm just going to ask, how would you like to start it? What are some of the first things that come to your mind, Deb?
You know, I think gratitude is one of those topics that is so big and so expansive, and also is one of those words that can sometimes get lost because we hear it so often. You know, like, oh, you should express gratitude, or, oh, you should have a gratitude this, a journal, or which are all great things, you know, and I think somewhere in the middle of gratitude being this big, overwhelming thing where it's like everything around us deserves our gratitude. Every air, every drop of water, every bit of food that we put in our mouth, there's this place for this gratitude. And also, it's like how do we live within this when, you know, is gratitude an orientation that we live in all day long? Is it something that we do every night before bed? You know, one of the things I think of when I think of gratitude is what does it mean to me to live in gratitude? Like, how do I as an individual do that? You know, and I think that's one of those beautiful personal questions that we can all ask ourselves is what does that really mean to live in a state of gratitude?
Oh, yes, that is just beautiful. What does it mean to each individual person? Because each individual person is going to come up with different things that they're thinking about, that they're grateful for. And I agree with you. We get lost. Gratitude can get lost. I mean, sometimes you think it has to be something really big in your life that you're grateful for. And it's just those small moments, if you stop each day, even like the air we breathe, being grateful for it, being grateful for having every little thing in your life. It's just so amazing if you just start with the small things, and then you'll be amazed how those small things build into bigger and bigger ones. At least that's how I always look at it. And I've always said gratitude changes attitude. When you get in that mode where, like, oh, you kind of go on what I call myself as a pity trip, and I'm like, okay, get off of this and start looking at what you're grateful for. And it is just amazing how simple it is to go from that state into a happy, grateful state. It's just a total attitude changer for me.
Oh, I love that. Gratitude changes attitude. Yeah, I think that's a really good description, because, you know, we can choose to make gratitude practices or events in our life. I mean, there's beautiful things about gathering together and telling people what we're thankful for, or expressing gratitude in really specific ways. And I think it's like you said, if it's an orientation, it's just our attitude follows, and then our life follows. And it's like a beautiful circle of that attitude creating more awareness of what we're grateful for, and maybe even creating more opportunity for us to give that to others, you know, because we're in this attitude that the world is deserving of that acknowledgement and that appreciation, as opposed to that taking it for granted. And I think that that appreciation and that acknowledgement can lead to an awareness of living our lives in beautifully conscious ways that are gifts not only to ourselves but to those around us, humans, animals, the wild world, you know, our gardens. I think if we're looking in conscious awareness of appreciation and gratitude, it really, I love what you said. Yeah, gratitude changes attitude. It changes everything.
Oh, it totally does. I agree. And I think so many times we get into where we take so much for granted. It's just like, oh, well, you don't stop and think about being grateful for it. You just take it for granted that it's just there. And when you stop and look at it the other way and be grateful for it, it's like, oh, wow, this is incredible. And I love how you said bringing it all in, making it a full circle web with the animals, with the nature. I mean, I even tell the trees, I'm so grateful for you. I mean, your leaf beauty was absolutely unreal this fall. It was just gorgeous what gorgeous beauty they brought to the earth. And now what they're going to do is provide the windbreak in the wintertime for the cattle to be under and be out in. And even on our yard, we have a lot of trees, and the windbreak is it's just amazing. And I'm so thankful to them trees for the beauty they bring in the spring, summer, and fall with all their leaves, and the windbreaks that they bring to us. So to me, it's a full circle web of being thankful for just the little things like that and out in nature. And it is a big thing because the trees are awesome, and the birds, being thankful for them out there. How this morning they were just singing away, and I'm like, oh man, it is just beautiful.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's like, those are the powerful choices we get to make each day. And I think we have kind of a responsibility to make those choices. I mean, certainly things happen in our lives, and there are days that are hard, and things are difficult, and there are days that are worse than others and days that are better than others, and I think that's part of the experience of life, you know. But we get to choose, you know, and what you just mentioned with the birds, it's like, do we go outside and are we annoyed that the birds are making noise and we can't hear our cell phone very well? Or do we go outside and turn off our cell phone and thank the birds for their beautiful song and feel grateful that we're getting to stand on this amazing earth in this place, moment, day, time, with these beautiful birds doing whatever they're doing and saying whatever they're saying? You know, to me, that's a huge piece of that grateful attitude as well. Is like, okay, well, I can't hear my phone, but I'll take this phone meeting. I'll go around the corner and then make my call, or, you know, whatever it is. But how that thankfulness of the texture and the qualities that all of these beings are adding to our lives. I honestly can't imagine life without other animals and the plants and the world around me. I mean, I love my human community and my family, but if there weren't other animals in it, I just know my heart would be yearning deeply for something that it was missing.
Oh, I so agree with you, because to me, all of the animals and the nature, everything, it's all part of my family. It's what makes all my family complete. I mean, the humans are the part of the family, but so are the animals, and all of nature comes right in there. And to me, it's what makes life complete, is when we can see that full circle web of how we all need each other and how we're all intertwined together. And I just feel they're all my family.
Oh, I could not agree more. Yeah, I think it's like, you know, how do we extend that idea of family and that idea of community to go on and on and on, and encompass, so many beings, whether they're, humans or dogs or horses or birds or rivers or trees or, I think that's part of that gratitude of living in this deep web, as you describe it so beautifully, is that living in that space of gratitude, I think, also helps us see that we really do need all of the beings around us, and it's not humans on the top of the pyramid. It's humans in the web, living with all the other beings together, getting through our days together, and that doesn't mean that it's like there's no conflict. It doesn't mean that there's not. I mean, certainly we know in the wild world that life eats life, and but if we have an awesome gratitude for that and a respect for that, does it allow us to does that gratitude and respect ripple out into the world in a way that serves and sometimes in ways we may not even be able to notice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how true, because it's coming when you're looking at it in the positive ways like that. That's the kind of energy you're giving off to the universe about all of the animals and the nature and everything out there, and it just helps put out the good positive energy into the universe is how I feel when you're in that state where you're complaining about it all, and that's putting out the negative energy. And the positive is what we need in this world in every single way, to me, is giving it out in the energy ways, in different ways, showing positivity to the universe, to the animals, to the people, to everything out there.
Yeah, I agree, and I think with that positivity, it really does go hand in hand with such a healthy respect. And if we accept that as that respect as sort of a way that we can look at gratitude. It's like, okay, I'm in what I'm eating, whether it's plants or animals or both, there's life on my plate. There's no way that we can live without that. So if we have gratitude for that and respect for that reality, then are we conscious about our choices in a different way? Do we choose things differently? Do we take our hope and move it to a place of action? Or our gratitude and move it to a place of action? How do I take this gratitude and have it inform my choices, have it inform my behaviors, have it inform my attitude, like we've already talked about.
Right. Oh, I love that kind of action gratitude, being active with your gratitude. And there's so many little ways that I come to mind when I think of action, active gratitude. I mean, just a smile sometimes can just change the whole atmosphere amongst humans. I mean, you smile at them and they're like, that they usually will smile back. And I mean, even in the stores, I've been in the grocery store many times where I've got quite a few items in my cart and somebody's coming with one or two. And when I'll say, go ahead and go in front of me, you got your hands full, or I've got way more than you do. And it is just amazing. You can see that look like, really? You're going to let me do that? They're just in total amazement. And I'm like, it just warms my heart to do little things like that and to show a smile. And it's something that everyone thinks about sometimes. Well, it's got to be something that's going to cost money or do something, and it doesn't. You can do such little things in such small ways that mean so much in big ways to others. And I think that is, when I think of active gratitude, those are a couple things that come to my mind.
Yeah, I love those. Are perfect examples of easy, free, things we can do at a moment's notice, anywhere, anytime. And I think the times I think it makes a difference all the time, but it especially makes a difference in those times where people are harried. As we're heading into the holiday seasons, for example, we can pretty much expect that people who are working in travel industries and retail industries, they're going to be getting hammered. And what they're doing is an incredible service. It's just like if the storms canceled plane flights and people are trying to get somewhere for Thanksgiving, there are individual people standing there working hard, trying to get people, reassigned to different seats. And I've been in lines of that many times in my life when I've been traveling. And it's amazing how being rude and demanding and all that stuff, all it does is hurt. All it does is perpetuate a problem. And if you get up there and you look and smile and say, wow, this is probably not your favorite day at work, I really appreciate what you're doing, thanks so much, everything changes. Everything. It feels good to the giver, and the receiver gets this precious gift of being seen and somebody acknowledging what they're doing over and above, they don't want a line of angry travelers to deal with either. I'm sorry, but who would want that, right? And
exactly.
It's so easy what we can do with our gratitude. It's so easy. It's such a powerful change agent, I think. And when we let it be active, when we don't stand in that line quietly, I really appreciate what they're doing. Wow, that must be rough. But when we actually say that to them, then the action, then that gratitude gets legs in the world, and then it goes out there. It's like that pay it forward. Who knows what those people might do with it? Are they going to turn around and say that to a coworker? Guys, thank you so much for helping me with that. That was really difficult. What is a domino effect? We may never know as individuals, but to me, part of the beauty of it is the mystery of what is that? What does that ripple do?
Exactly. Well, and I've always felt that two small words that can change so much too are thank you. Just telling someone thank you for just little things like you mentioned in at the airlines and different things at the stores, even in your own family, to your animals, everything. Tell them thank you, because those two words are amazing, how much they can help change how you're feeling and bring that that contentment, like, wow, I actually have done something that somebody appreciated. And it is just amazing. And even the animals, they like to hear it too. They like to hear and feel that they are appreciated for the part that they are bringing into the world also. So I've always loved those two little words, thank you.
Oh, I agree. And they're so simple. And you're making me think of a story. I have 3 dogs, and it's very normal to bark when somebody's coming to the door, like a delivery or something. And what I chose as the word to help them know that I have it and I appreciate them, but they can calm down, is thank you. And so I walk to the door like, thank you, thanks everybody, thank you. And then they'll all kind of back up and smile. And, I always let them smell whatever the package is and all this. And it just makes so much more sense than screaming, because what they're really doing is alerting me that somebody's coming to our home. Thank you for doing that. Like, I appreciate that. But what is so beautiful, like you said, is their heart. I can feel their energy when, instead of me yelling and screaming and making a big to-do about it, a calm, fun voice and a thank you and them smiling, it's just the whole thing for all of us is so much more pleasant, than it would be otherwise. And one of my dogs, she's a border collie. She's concerned about our home. She's, it's important to her to be able to contribute, I think. She's a working dog,
Right. Oh, I just love that example because, how true that is with the dogs. I mean, that is, it just warmed me to hear you do that too, because I do that with my dogs all the time. If they're letting me know somebody's here, or if they hear a noise, or if I have told them to stay somewhere because I'm doing something, or we're out with the cattle and they need to stay right there. I mean, and then praising them for doing that. And just, it is just amazing. My one dog, he's a border collie too, and his whole body just starts to go when you start thanking him and loving on him and telling him you appreciate him. He just gets so excited. So I know he feels that. He feels that energy. He feels the love coming, that he has done something that pleased you. And that is just incredible. It's the same for them as humans, because the humans feel good when you say that too, because they feel, hey, we've actually made a difference in this world. And that's the same thing with the animals. I love that. And I do it to my horses all the time. I'm always loving them and hugging them and telling them thank you for being in my life and for being here for me, and just it's just amazing the response you get back. So I would suggest to our listeners, if you've never tried this with your animals, experience it, because it is a heartwarming experience.
Oh my gosh, I completely agree, you know, and just like we were talking about with the relationships with other humans, you know, what does that gratitude and that energy of gratitude even between us and our animal companions, what does that do to our relationships with each other? You know, it's like I feel like it's at least in my own little world of animals, I feel like it's changed. You know, if I look at them as beings who are contributing, whether it's something I want them to contribute or not, you know, barking at the door isn't always what I, you know, but if I look at them as that's their orientation, that's why they're doing it, is to contribute. Let me just treat them respectfully and say thank you. And then it changes the relationship. It takes away some of the hierarchical, I mean, it just makes it more of an ongoing, beautiful, you know, synergistic relationship as opposed to a hierarchical, I'm over them kind of thing, which I don't want that with my dogs. You know, I realize in this world, as humans, we have responsibilities, and I'm walking my dog through a park, I have to be the one in charge, of course. Like, you know, I've got to make sure that the kids don't run up and scare my dog and all the things, but it doesn't mean I can't have equal respect at the same time. It doesn't mean that I can't be grateful for them for being who they are and whatever that is that they are, you know, whatever they bring to the table. And I think that letting each of us be who we are is at the root of like being active with our gratitude. You know, just like I'm going to really look hard to see what is it about this person, this dog, this place that I can really be grateful for. Let me really see them as who they are.
Yes. Oh, I love that, being at the root of who you are. That is just beautiful, because that is so true. I mean, on whether it's humans, whether it's animals, whether it's out in nature, what they're giving to you, to be appreciative and grateful for at the root of who they are. Oh, I love that. That just put it really beautiful.
Yeah, and I feel like we also, like, I can speak for myself, but I also appreciate when people see me for who I am and don't expect me to try to be something I'm not.
Right.
You know, and appreciate what I'm able to give and what I'm able to do, and instead of saying, oh, you should be doing this differently, you should be doing that differently, and, you know, like, I think this often happens with animals, where we get dogs, we get horses, we expect them to behave certain ways and do certain things with us, and, you know, what happens, how do we still forge that relationship when maybe the dog or the horse doesn't want to do what we originally thought we were going to be doing together? And I think part of it is being grateful about what they have and really looking at who they are and saying, wow, well, you don't like when I do agility with you or when I ride you a certain way, but I really am grateful for these other parts of who you are. Yes. And it just allows us to get into the heart of it, you know?
Oh, that is so true. One that came to mind is my mare pulled a ligament in her knee. It was a year ago last June, so I hadn't ridden her for over a year, and her and I, it didn't matter. It didn't matter to me, because I was just grateful that she was there, and I loved on her. I told her, as long as it takes to heal, and whether if the ligament decides that this isn't, that you need to be rode again, it doesn't matter to me, because I just love you for being in my life, and I'm just grateful for you being here. And it was a warm feeling between each of us. And then when it did heal and we could ride again, it was a whole nother experience of being grateful again from her to me, because she was grateful that she could, because she loves to go. And it was just an awesome experience. But that's something that comes to mind when you go to the root of who they are and look past if there's a hurdle in the road that you have to cross, or that something isn't going the way you think it should be going. Start to look at it deeper and find that deeper meaning of what it is, of who they are, and be grateful for that. So that was just something that came to mind when you said that about the dogs.
Oh, I think that's the perfect example. Exactly, because it's like your relationship with her continued, and your willingness to let it continue, even if you couldn't do the original things that you loved doing together. And I think that part of what helps us in those moments, because there can be that disappointment, there can be that, oh man, I really wanted to do this, or part of that is, I think, that grateful attitude can help in those moments, because then we can see things we might have missed if we'd, like, who knows what your relationship with her, how it might be different now because you had that year of recovery for her ligament, and you interacted with each other differently than you might have, and so is there this beautiful gift in there also, that maybe wouldn't have been seen so easily, or maybe not as soon, maybe when she was much older or something, but it's magic. Gratitude is magic, I think.
Oh, I love that. That is, gratitude is magic. I agree so much. Oh, that is beautiful too. Oh, Deb, this has just been absolutely amazing, and I knew it would be, and it has gone so quickly. Oh, we could talk for hours on gratitude because there's so many more things to talk about. But what is a final tip you would like to leave with our listeners today as we close this chat on gratitude, Deb?
I think thinking about what we were talking about with being active in our gratitude, maybe asking, encouraging folks to say, okay, let's look at our lives. What is one being in our life that we really are grateful for, and maybe we haven't shown it? And how can we perhaps show that gratitude? Or maybe show it in a way we haven't before, like surprise them with our gratitude in some way. Just like letting that domino effect get started all over the place. Like all of the listeners and all of our unique locations, let's just push those dominoes of gratitude out into the world by doing something to really show our gratitude. Big or small.
I love that. Oh, that was beautiful, Deb. I love that. Let the dominoes of gratitude just keep on going, just like a stack that you touch the one end and it just keeps on flowing. I love that. That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Deb. This was just awesome. I loved every moment of it. Thank you so much.
Oh, me too. Thank you.
You are so welcome. And I truly want to thank all of our listeners for this absolutely amazing interview with an incredible diva, Deb Matlock. And remember, she will be back in December, and it will be another exciting topic that her and I chat about. Be sure to share this show with all your family and friends. Check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. Have an absolute magical day, and remember, show that gratitude because it will be a domino effect throughout the world. And gratitude is truly magic. Remember, be kind to all. Give your animals that great big extra hug and share your love and gratitude with them also. And until we connect again on Robust Lifestyle, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.